Most people believe success begins with opportunity. It doesn't. It begins with constraint. And the people who start from zero often have one hidden advantage that those born ahead never develop. This is not a story about luck. This is a story about leverage. Part 1. The myth of starting from nothing. The phrase started from zero sounds dramatic. But zero is rarely zero. Zero simply means no visible assets. No capital, no network, no reputation. But what most people ignore is this. When you have nothing to protect, you're free to experiment. People with comfort protect. People with nothing explore. And exploration compounds faster than protection. The wealthy protect capital. The poor must build systems. And systems, when built correctly, outgrow capital. Part 2. The psychological advantage of zero. When you start with advantages, you fear loss. When you start with nothing, you fear stagnation. Those are two very different fears. The comfortable person optimizes, the zero-position person learns. And learning velocity is more powerful than starting position. The person with nothing tries more, fails faster, adjusts quicker, develops resilience early. They build psychological equity, and psychological equity compounds before financial equity does. Part 3. Constraint forces. Clarity. Imagine two people. One has savings, one has none. The one with savings delays decisions. The one without savings must decide immediately. Constraint forces. Skill development, focus, efficiency, elimination of distractions. Zero removes illusion. It removes lifestyle inflation. It removes ego spending. It removes false status games. When you have nothing, you cannot afford ego. That is power. Part 4. The real rule. He understood. He did not focus on income first. He focused on leverage. Most people try to earn more money. Few try to increase the return on their effort. There are only 3 true levers: skills, systems, ownership. He invested in skills first, then built systems around those skills, then moved toward ownership. This sequence matters. Income without skill is fragile. Skill without system is exhausting. System without ownership is capped. But skill plus system plus ownership, that scales. Part 5. Why starting ahead can be a disadvantage. Comfort delays urgency, and urgency creates clarity. Many people with advantages protect reputation, avoid risk, fear embarrassment, maintain image. But someone starting from zero, there is no image to protect. And when you remove social pressure, experimentation increases. The person with nothing builds quietly. The person with something defends loudly. Quiet builders often win. Part 6. The compounding window. Success is not built from intensity. It is built from sustained direction. He didn't move fast, he moved consistently. He chose one direction, one skill, one domain, and he stayed. While others chased trends, he deepened competence. And depth compounds harder than diversification early on. Most people diversify too early. They dilute momentum. Zero forces focus. Focus builds advantage. Part 7. The invisible years. What people see is outcome. What they don't see, the unpaid work. The rejection. The slow months. The identity shift. Starting from zero forces identity reconstruction. You cannot rely on background. You cannot rely on network. You cannot rely on brand. You must become valuable, and value precedes visibility. Part 8. The ownership shift. The turning point was not income, it was ownership. Ownership of equity, intellectual property, distribution, systems. Most workers trade time. Owners design structure. Once he stopped selling time and started building assets, growth accelerated. That's the rule. Part 9. The emotional discipline layer. Starting from zero creates emotional volatility. If not controlled, it leads to desperation. But if controlled, it builds emotional discipline. He did not rush, he did not chase shortcuts. He did not escalate lifestyle early. He protected margin, he reinvested, he stayed neutral during wins. Calmness compounds faster than excitement. Part 10. Why most people misinterpret zero. They think, I have nothing. But they often have. Internet access, information access, learning platforms, distribution channels. Time zero today is not zero historically. The barrier is no longer entry, it is consistency. The real advantage. Starting from zero removes illusion. It forces skill development, system thinking, ownership awareness, emotional discipline. And those who master those early don't just escape zero. They build leverage. Success is not built from what you start with. It's built from what you're forced to become. And sometimes zero is the cleanest starting point possible.